Jenn Matney is back with an all-new Food Positive, and this time she's giving out some tips on how to stay healthy during the holidays.
Hello and welcome back to Food Positive, where we explore all different nutrition topics so that we can take a preventative look at health and use food as medicine. Now, the holidays are officially upon us. You might have celebrated a day of thanks at some point this week. You might do so this weekend, and Christmas will be here before we know it. We want to make sure everyone stays healthy this year, so please make sure you're wearing your masks, you're socially distancing, you're following all CDC guidelines to help prevent the spread of coronavirus. And while this year is determined to be different from years past, let's take a look at 5 tips for healthy holidays so we can take care of our health, we can take care of our bodies as we celebrate. So tip number 1 is be food positive. Be food positive, that's what we do. So for those of you who might not remember, who might be unaware, food positivity means actively consuming those foods your body needs. Being food positive also means creating and maintaining a positive relationship with food. Now, we often discuss food in terms of good or bad, like good food to eat is kale or bad food to eat is sugar. And we often do that because it helps us label and it helps us to feel confident that we know more about basic nutrition, right? But labeling those foods good or bad means that we put that judgment on ourselves. A food is just a food, an apple is just an apple. And removing the judgment from the food means we can remove that judgment from ourselves. For some of us during the holiday, we might feel a little bit of shame or a little bit of guilt if we're not consuming those foods that have been prepared for us. And some of us may even experience a little bit of pushback from loved ones about why we're choosing certain health options. So we want to maintain our food positivity. We want to choose those foods that are right for us at this point in our health journey because they're optimal for our health or because we are in a place we're happy to indulge and consume a treat. So stay food positive. Stick to your what works for you and be food positive during this holiday season. Tip number 2 is make a plan. Planning allows you to stay on whatever track works best for you. You might have heard someone say, I'm so excited for what I'm doing for my health. I'm right on track for all of my goals. I feel great. Oh, but the holidays are coming up. So I guess I'll just have to put everything on the back burner until the new year. You might even have felt that way yourself, but the holiday season is actually a really great time to start a health journey or to continue a health journey because it allows us to flex that mental muscle and make a game plan. You know you're going to an event, you know there's going to be some overeating, possibly some overindulging, so make a plan of what you're going to do that day to prepare, how you might indulge that day, and what you're going to be doing to get yourself right back on track the next day. Even take the time to work through how you might respond to a family member or a loved one if they press you on your health choices. Working through that moment ahead of time will allow you to vent any anxiety or stress you might have about the interaction and will make that interaction that much more seamless when the time comes. So decide what works for you this holiday season, make a game plan, and stick to it. Tip number 3 is eat before. So that whole day before your event, make sure you are choosing whole food, nutrient-dense options. Maybe for breakfast, you might have a green smoothie or some raw fruit and nuts. You might have a salad for lunch. You might even take some raw veggies over for the snack on the ride over to the event. And definitely make sure that you are drinking plenty of water. Because when we arrive to these events dehydrated or hungry, we are more likely to overfill our plates or even fill a second plate. And when we consume all of that food, especially quickly, our eyes are so big, we're looking at the smorgasbord and we just eat so quickly. Whenever we do that, we then feel the fatigue and the sluggishness and the bloating. So eat before and make sure you consume good, healthy options throughout the day. Now, tip number 4 is bring along. You're standing in front of the holiday spread at your holiday event. You might be struggling to find some foods that are made with whole foods or are nutrient dense. So why not bring something along? Find your favorite holiday food and remake it with health in mind. For example, you might bring mashed sweet potatoes instead of mashed white potatoes. Or you could bring a mixed green autumn salad for a bit of green on your plate. And not only will you be bringing those healthy foods to fill your plate at the holiday function, but a loved one might get to try and love a food in the process. So bring your healthy holiday options to the get-together. Tip number 5 is eat 85-15. Now, some of you might remember the 85-15 mantra from past Food Positive episodes. And 85-15 is a mantra where our nutrition plans should contain about 85% of health building foods and maybe 15% or less of those health breaking foods. Because what we want in our nutrition plan is something that will work for life, a habit that we form for life. And having the 85-15 rule means it's not overly restrictive, because those of you out there who have done overly restrictive elimination diets, you will be able to tell everyone else how unfeasible and impossible it can be to incorporate that into your life full time. So stick to the 85-15 mantra and choose an indulgence for your holiday event. Maybe that's the pumpkin pie, maybe that's a green bean casserole side, maybe it's a roll, whatever works for you. Choose an indulgence, eat 85-15, and really savor the holiday in your healthy eating. So there you have it, 5 healthy tips for healthy holidays. 1, be food positive and make choices for you based on where you're at in your health journey. 2, make a plan and stick to it. 3, eat those healthy foods throughout the day before your event. 4, bring something along so everyone can share in those healthy options for the holidays. And 5, use the 85-15 eating mantra so that you can choose an indulgence and really savor the holiday spirit this year. And if you have any nutrition or health topics you'd like us to cover here on Food Positive, please send your questions over to the local scene at PAC TV. We would really love to tackle those topics that mean the most to you.
Great tips as always. Thanks, Jen.